Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. For those of you I haven't met yet, I'm James Drummond, the VP of Payments here at Aiwyn. I was employee number one at QuickFee and was the COO for nearly 10 years at QuickFee. So as you guys would all be aware, Aiwyn acquired QuickFee's US payments business last year, and I joined Aiwyn as part of the acquisition. The products Aiwyn acquired from QuickFee were the PayNow and PayNow Plus, formerly known as Connect products. So PayNow being the online payment portal with no practice management system integration, and PayNow Plus being the online portal integrated with the practice management system. So on today's call, we'll have customers that are using both these products. And as you would have heard recently, both products will be retired in December 2027. So we wanted to get ahead of that timeline to give you every opportunity to plan your transition with confidence. So today's webinar is all about helping set you up for success. And here's what to expect from today's session. So we're going to have a live Aiwyn Payments platform demonstration. One of our AEs on the team, Nick Heater, will be running that section through for you guys in just a moment. We'll also have a look at some of the feature overview of the Aiwyn Payments platform, together with some of the differences between the Aiwyn and QuickFee platforms. And then we'll walk you through as well the implementation and migration process. And finally, we've reserved some time at the end for a Q&A session as well. So if you start noting your questions, and feel free to submit them throughout the webinar so that we can have them to run through, or some of our colleagues off to the side are also able to answer some of your questions during the webinar itself. Aiwyn begins all of their internal and external meetings to outline three things: their vision, mission, and commitment. So Aiwyn's vision, as you can see up on the screen here, we believe entrepreneurs and markets are powerful forces for good, and professional accountants play the indispensable roles of guide and guardian, allowing these forces to contribute optimal value to society. So that's Aiwyn's vision. Aiwyn's mission is to be the trusted technology partner to the accounting profession for the next century. And finally, Aiwyn's commitment is to deliver innovative technology designed to consolidate systems and build trust with accounting firms. Which brings us to the Aiwyn suite of solutions. So if I can just call out, it's an important difference between QuickFee, the platform that you guys have been operating on. QuickFee's mission was solely focused on providing digital payment solutions for firms and speeding up the AR collection process. QuickFee had no aspirations to expand further into technology solutions for firms, whereas Aiwyn, with their payment solution, in experience where customers are able to sign engagement letters, go through the payment process in a connected experience, together with offering solutions. Practice management solution was launched last year, and tax and other cool solutions that Aiwyn's been working on and will be available for your firms. A big part of the Aiwyn's focus is on a connected client experience. A lot of firms, the feedback that I've heard talking to firms has been around just using different point solutions that don't talk to one another and a disjointed client experience. That's something that is core to the Aiwyn vision, to make sure that it's seamless experience for both your internal users together with your clients. So let's hand this over. We'll hear from one of our customers. All right, I think we're just having some sound issues with that. Bear with us one moment.
I think clients are expecting more today than a few years ago. More detail, I'll say, in their bill. They want touch points throughout the life of the engagement. I think they want to have a say. So I brought a little prop with me to talk about that a little bit. And it's really about having clients have a seat at the table. What do clients really want? And keeping that in mind always. What is the most notable impact Aiwyn has had on our team and our clients' experience? Certainly being able to do more. It's not just, I'll say, out of the box experience, so we can tweak different things for different clients, what our personal needs are maybe versus another firm's needs. The automation has been huge. They see the bill, they have a question, they can easily do that versus I got it in the mail and it's Saturday, I got to call the person or I have a question about my bill. It's just instantaneous and then instant gratification. But also in terms of cash flow, obviously then those things can happen much faster. The biggest reason why we chose Aiwyn is because of the people that are at Aiwyn, the people that we met during the presentation of the software. We felt instantly connected. We felt that we had the same vision in terms of a client at the table. We felt like we were at the table and making decisions. And we're constantly hearing, hey, we've listened to maybe not just Anders, but to our other firms, and we made this change. That's so unheard of. So we feel like we're partnering with Aiwyn. When I see people here at the conference, it's immediately like old home week or homecoming. It's just like, okay, I'm talking to you on a regular basis all the time. And when I came in, one of the people that we work with immediately gave me a hug. So you feel like part of an extended family. I just think it's been a win-win for us, and we're looking forward to the future, certainly. One of our mantras at Anders is dream big. And so we're certainly able to do more of that with.
All right, and always great to hear some feedback from customers. And as a top 100 firm that's been working with Aiwyn for a number of years now. So some of the features that are being covered today. So Nick, as I hand over to him in a little bit, he's going to run through and demo some of the solutions here. But the way that we've bucketed it down, just in terms of your clients are able to pay faster using the Aiwyn payment solution, there's greater payment method choice to make it easier for your customers, a more seamless one-click checkout experience, some of the functionality as well, which we'll cover in terms of the options for payment. Stripe Link allows your customers to save and click through so that their experience for checkout is more seamless. We've got some other like customizable functionality, which is not available in the PayNow Plus platform today. Auto pay capability, which allows both your firm and the client to set up auto pay versus, again, with some of the nuances with the QuickFee solutions, only allowed your client to set that up. Another big thing that has been requested from QuickFee customers around debit card blocking, the ability to do that and avoid fees because you are unable to pass on a surcharge for debit cards. Aiwyn Payments does have that capability. Unfortunately, the QuickFee platform, we had some technology constraints with our credit card processing partner, PayRock, that prohibited that functionality. So again, some really cool functions that Nick's going to run through and give us a demo of. And we'll talk to some of the more nuances between the platform as well after Nick's demonstration. So with that, I'd like to hand over to Nick and he'll take us through a live demo of the Aiwyn payment solution.
Awesome. Thanks, James, and really excited to be here. Nice to meet everyone. I am going to send over a request to you, Cassidy, to share screen. And then once I get that access, I'll walk us through the Aiwyn Payments platform. So to level set us, before we dive in, I'm going to be sharing a screen that looks probably very similar to an invoice being delivered to the client. And I always like to start here and preface this screen with your billing process within your practice management system as it stands today would stay the same. We're going to set up an integration for an email delivery integration and then into your backend database. And what this allows us to do is create this experience that we're seeing on the screen here. So in the traditional quick fee experience today, if you're not on the Connect solution, which is the integrated solution, your clients have to manually come to your screen when they receive the invoice. They'll click the link, and then they have to manually input their client ID, their invoice number, invoice amount, their address. And you can imagine how many times they have to do that if you send them multiple invoices for a billing contact that manages multiple entities. So on the screen, this is the experience that your clients will receive when you guys bill an invoice to the client, and this is how it will look when it's delivered. There's a couple of things I do like to call out as well on this screen is this will all be branded to your firm. So no longer will there be any confusion. This will be white labeled for your firm and your logo. And then this will also be coming from an email address that we'll set up on your behalf or one that you already use today to deliver emailed invoices. So a billings at your firm name or one that you already use today. Alongside that, I always like to scroll down. When I mentioned that your billing process stays the same, so does the invoice PDFs that you all create. So in this bottom left-hand corner, what you'll notice is we will attach all the PDF invoices along with the email so that there's no confusion for what these clients are paying for. And so I'm going to take us to the next landing screen, but really the call out here is go ahead and pay an invoice. And when they click that button, we're going to drive them to a landing page that looks like this. And I love to call out on this screen, there's two experiences. One, on one hand, we hear firms say, we have clients that interact with us once or twice a year and they don't want to create a login, but they want to pay us and they want to pay us easily. So great. The experience we're looking at now, the client is not logged in, but once I click paid invoice, I'll be driven to this landing page. Clients can download this invoice from here. They can have optionally send an email, which this button will trigger the client to be able to email a specific inbox, which could be a centralized inbox or a specific person that we can map to a specific field to answer any questions related to this invoice specifically. In the bottom left-hand corner, you'll notice that we do have US-based chat support. This is our way of handling anything that the client has confusion around setting up a user login or something that Aiwyn would own related to the technology itself. If they have questions about the invoice, we're always going to point them back to you. So make sure they use this send email, or they can always email you personally out of their own inbox. We do intentionally make pay partially small, but firms needed this in certain occasions where clients can partially pay this. But we do make that small to not enforce that, it's okay to partially pay bills. What you'll notice is we make this really easy on the right-hand side. We are going to go ahead and start creating a cart-like experience, very similar to a checkout experience that they would have with Amazon or something that they pay today. Once they are ready to execute payment, and I'm going to act like I'm a first-time client, they can select different payment options. So ACH, debit card, credit card. Obviously, we can turn off the debit card feature. We do have Apple Pay, we do have Google Pay, which are differentiators. And this is a mobile-friendly first experience as well. So a lot of clients do pay by their cell phone when they receive this email. And then we do support international payments as well. So all different kinds of payment methods that we can talk about if you guys are looking to make a transition. And so I'm going to act like I'm a first-time client. Go ahead and get my information in here. And of course, once I make this payment, I can save payment afterwards. So that next time I come in here, this is very straightforward and simple. If they want an email receipt, go ahead and enter their email address here. This is what the clients would do. If they need to add additional recipients, so folks at that specific entity also want to be copied on the emailed receipt of confirmation of payment, they can add multiple team members here as well. I have chosen to pay by credit card, and you'll notice that we have the processing fee here. So we do have the ability to go ahead and process or charge the client the processing fee since I elected to pay by credit card. We can also turn this off for firms that don't want their clients paying the processing fee. Here's where the magic really happens with Aiwyn. You'll notice I'll hit agree to pay. And once I click this payment button, the real value of what we've created with how we've configured the solution is once I execute payment and I notice I don't have any outstanding invoices, we do drive them to a landing page. And if I had other outstanding invoices, those would show here. And I'll log in to show you what the next side of the client experience would look like for clients that have multiple entities that they are the specific billing contact for. And what we'll notice once I get logged in, we do have the ability to allow clients to request magic links for all the different username and passwords that they probably already have for different, bills that they already have to pay. We wanted to make it easier for clients not to have to remember their username and password. So once we hit request the magic link, we'll take them and email them back a login. And then we will allow them to get into their portal once they have initially created their username and password. So very easy to get logged in here. I'm going to jump over to the invoices tab just so everyone knows we do have more than just a payments platform. We do have engagement letters, we have projects which are labeled as our request list. But this specific tab, invoices, payments, and settings, is what your clients would see if you just adopted our payment solution. And now that I'm logged in, you'll see here at the top right-hand corner, we have more information that we're going to display to this specific billing contact that manages multiple entities. You'll see here that I have Nick Snacks, I have Nick's AC and heaters, I have any given Sunday advisory that also display here as well. The other things that James touched on that we do have the ability to help firms with is allowing clients to see credits that are applied to their account. And with that, they can also apply it to a specific invoice within that client's account. So credits for most firms sit at the client level rather than the invoice level. So these will just be displayed by these specific client accounts. And then as well as late fees is another differentiator that Aiwyn has the ability to ingest late fees and then display those over here in the right-hand side. We have a couple of different configurations as it relates to late fees. Some firms take the stance of we want to hard code this and enforce our clients to pay those. Great, we can support that. There's another middle ground, which you'll see here in this demo environment that I can check on and off, allowing the client to remove the late fees. What will happen with that is it will go on to the next checkout experience, until you all remove that in the backend PM system that will display or the client actually pays the late fee itself. Same with credits. Credits work where if they have a credit that takes care of the entire invoice, great. That will go ahead and zero out the checkout experience for that specific invoice. If they use the credit for a specific invoice and that credit was more than what the invoice was for, that credit will be reduced by the amount that they used, and then they will still have the remaining credit to use on other invoices. So this is, in a nutshell, what your clients can do that manage multiple entities. And I'm going to jump into the next section called payments. This tab is really used for self-service clients or the use case where a lot of your clients are calling into the firm and asking for a copy of the receipt. So what Aiwyn can do with our integration is create a landing page here. And what you'll notice is they can come in and actually download any of their past paid invoices that they've made over a specific set of time. So this does go all the way up to a year, and we can ingest more past that. And this landing page is all or nothing. We can either turn this on and allow clients to self-service, or we can turn this off for your firm. The last thing on the client side that I'll touch on is our settings. And you'll notice here that we have a couple of different payment types. We have auto pay, that which James mentioned earlier, and then we have reoccurring payments. There are a difference between the two, and I'll talk through those. When clients are coming to set up autopay, they have the ability to select a day of the month that they want this to be auto drafted out of their account. They can set up an optional amount as far as a threshold. And what this allows the client to do is set a threshold that they will get a notification that an invoice is over their allotted threshold that they feel comfortable with being drafted out of their account. So what will happen is they will be asked to come in and manually execute that payment. So it's just a nice to have for the clients to know that they're not going to get auto drafted anything that they're not comfortable with. And then the clients do have the ability to save payment methods to a specific account. So they don't have to remember the last four digits of this bank account or this credit card goes to this specific account. And then what you'll notice here as well is they can add additional recipients for this specific entity to also receive email notification of payment confirmations. Auto pay is going to be applied to the oldest invoice that the client has outstanding, versus reoccurring payments is going to not be tied to any invoice at all. Clients can set up reoccurring payments, and the use case typically is going to be like a cash client that has a reoccurring balance that doesn't change month over month. Or if clients want to set up an optional payment plan outside of quick fee financing, they can use this feature as well to do so. They can tie it to an account, they can set up an amount, they can tie a frequency to this. So it could be more often than just a month. It could be quarterly, weekly, yearly, and then they can tie a start and end date as well as saving payment methods that they choose to set up. So all in all, this is what the client has at their fingertips as it relates to Aiwyn payments in our integrated solution. I am going to move over into the firm portal where you have more as far as admins or specific controllers typically have access to as it relates to a payment platform. I always like to start at this screen, and there's a lot of great information that we'll see here. But what you'll notice when you come into the clients and contacts page, you'll have all your different clients listed over here on the left-hand side. And then with our integration, we have a bunch of information that we can also pull in. So client numbers, client types. Some of this information is related more to our practice management solution, but some of this will be appropriate and apply to your settings. You will be able to see account balances, unpaid invoices, and a lot of good information that allows you when you are particularly trying to, in the use case of help a client who has called in, understand what invoice are you trying to help them execute payment on behalf of that client for. So over here on the right-hand side, we do have an actions button. And from this landing page, you can actually go into the client portal. This will look at like a very similar view to what I showed you when the client was initially checking out. So that client that calls in over the phone or comes into the office that you want to help execute payment for, you can go into their client portal, go ahead and take their information and execute payment on their behalf. The next thing that we'll show here is an email deliverability hub. This is a nice feature enhancement that allowed firms moving from an unintegrated solution to an integrated solution to have visibility into the success of delivering emails, whether that's the initial invoice or the collection statement that we are helping firms stage, draft, and send as well. And so what we'll see here is all the invoices that have been sent out so far and visibility into whether it was delivered, whether it was opened, whether it was clicked, or there was an actual failure reason. And some of those failure reasons look like we hit a firewall or a DNS bounce. We'll give you those specific reasons to help you all make sure you are delivering these emails electronically and having better adoption overall. And then we do have a nice, easy resend button. Sometimes clients call in, they're saying, hey, can you resend this invoice? Great. We can always search by anything that shows it as far as the filters here. Find the client we want to resend that invoice for, click resend, and then we can always enter another email address if they had something else that you wanted to send them to, or go ahead and just say, yes, this is the right email and file. Let's go ahead and resend this email. I'm going to jump down into another section and to level set what your portal view would look like. You all would have a similar tab called Clients and Contacts. You would have a very similar Invoices tab. Accounts Receivable would be renamed to Payments, and then Collections and Reports. I'm going to jump into the Accounts Receivables tab, and this will allow you all as a firm to understand and see payment history. So what's been made, whether that was through Aiwyn, or we can toggle this off and see what was paid outside of Aiwyn. Since we have an integration into the SQL database, that allows us to see everything. So not only payments that come through Aiwyn, but also outside. We can also filter this. We can have a different time frame that we want a subset of data to go ahead and take a look at, and we can always export that out of here as well. We talked about auto pay and reoccurring payments. When I jump into the payments plans tab, and I don't have any great data here, you would have visibility into all those clients that have set up those different reoccurring payments or auto payments. When are those going to be drafted? The set of amounts that are going to be drafted, so you can understand the cash flow that's coming into the firm through those specific payment methods that they have set up. And then last but not least, we do have portal users, and this gives you visibility into anybody who's created a login. So anytime they need help with setting something up or something on the firm portal, you guys can go over to their portal, or you can understand who has created those logins. The last thing that I like to touch on this page, that's super nice use case, is the share payment link. The use case here is for clients that maybe have not been set up, or you guys want to take retainer payments as a firm. We have the ability to use what we call QPLs or quick payment links that allow us to either pre-fill information in for a client that has not been set up, or for clients that have been set up and we want to go ahead and collect cash, we can select a specific client or clear this out, select no client at all, and enter this information as far as the company name, the amount that we want to collect, the email address, and then we can copy this link and either text it or email it to the client. And then they would be able to execute payment with this information filled out or requiring them to fill it out on their themselves. Next, we're going to jump into collections. And so this view, we're looking at what we have as far as Aiwyn's collections automation. And this is a staged view. So at the top, you'll see that we have aging AR buckets that will give you visibility into where the oldest invoices are as it relates to any invoice you all have sent out that has come through Aiwyn. You'll notice that we have the ability to customize certain things. We can customize who it's going to. We can customize the subject, the headline, and the message of the body. And then below, we'll give you a preview of what this collection statement looks like. Very similar to the emailed invoice, where this would be branded to your logo. And then a little bit different as far as how the display looks, where the collection statement will show them exactly what's outstanding. If a client had multiple invoices that are outstanding at different ages, we would reflect those, but the buckets would tally up the specific invoices that meet that threshold. And then we would also attach along any PDFs that coincide with the aged AR as well. So there could be multiple. There could be 5 invoices here if those have met the criteria. There could be 1. There could be, many. But they would have visibility to be able to click into those different invoices and understand what's outstanding. This is that stage view. We're going to jump into the collection settings. And what you'll notice here is we have the ability to customize even further how often these statement reminders are going out. So in this example, my demo environment in these trigger settings, I've set up my invoice or my collection statement reminders to go out on the 15th day post the net terms that we'll set up with your firm. So on the 15th day after that invoice has been sent out, post net terms, we'll send a reminder on the 30th day, the 45th day, and the 60th. But the benefit and the differentiator here is that you can customize these yourselves. So through implementation, we'll work with your firm on how you want these triggers to be set up, and you all can do whatever day you would like as far as the cadence of how often these go out. Now, this all ties back to what I'm going to talk about here, which is throttling. Throttling allows us to make sure that we don't send too many collection statements to a client within a specific set of time. So as you're sending different invoices through your billing cycles as a firm, we want to make sure that we give a specific amount of time in between a collection statement going out from the initial trigger date to the next trigger date. So really throttling is logic to make sure that we're not sending too many collection statements to your clients as it relates to the different invoices that they may receive that hit different triggers. Excluded clients. Every firm has them, and this is going to be related to maybe some specific clients that have specific relationships that we don't want to receive collections, or we don't want them to receive invoices, or one or the other, or both. Best practice, always do this at the practice management level, but we can manage excluded clients from receiving invoices or collections as well as it relates to Aiwyn payments. My favorite button that you'll see here, I showed you the staged view earlier as far as the collection statements look. We can fully automate this. So once we have your triggers set up, you guys feel comfortable with the clients that are a part of this process, we can go ahead and flip the switch and turn the full automation on so you no longer have to review the staged collection statement reminders. They will go out based on these triggers that we set up here above. Email settings. And so this gets into further customization as far as changing the language that ensues on the collection statements as the AR gets older. We have the ability to customize further the tonality of the specific collection statements and the emails that go out to your clients. So we can customize the subject line, the headline, and the message of the body. We'll work with your firm on best practice of how you want these to sound. But one example is here, you'll notice that the over 120, we do have a stop work notice. So you have the ability to customize these. We do have variables that make customization at scale really tailored to that specific client. So we can pull in different variables like the client name, the firm name, the invoice count. You'll see here that we have a number of variables that we can pull in to feel really tailored to that specific client. The thing that you'll notice here, every firm has a collections process where partners or managers or key personnel internally are looped into the process. And what we've created here is the ability to accompany that process, but make it easier where we can, in this example, clue in a client partner to be BCC'd or CC'd on the collection email that's going to that specific client. And then we can set up a threshold. So maybe we only want to clue a specific partner or partners in at the 60 to 90-day mark, and then clue them into the rest of the process, really allowing them, one, the client to see their name, which is going to drive and increase their payment time frame. Anytime they see a partner, they always pay faster, but then also allowing that client just to follow up from that thread rather than a report that they receive and go over every month, and then ensuing the partner to follow up. So a really nice benefit to add additional recipients into a process that you are automating with Aiwyn payments. And then the last thing you'll see here is we do have the address, just letting you know the email address that these invoices and email statements are coming from. And then last but not least, the solution does come with reports. And what you'll notice here is there's more than what meets the eye. But as a firm that would adopt Aiwyn Payments, you would have everything related to payments. So payment performance, payment failures, outstanding AR, collections, and undelivered email insights. The one use case I like to touch on that firms have been using as of late is jumping into our outstanding AR tab. The initial landing page would just be high-level KPI metrics that you can see here, but you do have the ability to drill down even further. So I'm going to jump into the Partner AR Insights tab, and then I could, as a controller or firm admin, that I create and own reports, select a specific partner that we would map from your backend system, and then I would have visibility into that specific partner's AR as far as it relates to outstanding AR for that specific partner's clients. The value of this is being able to create schedules. And so everybody creates reports. They typically already have these probably already created, but now we can automate the delivery of these. And what you'll see here is we can do it every hour, day, week of the month, and then you could select the specific days that these are going to be delivered, the timing, and then the actual attachment type. So we do support PDF, CSV, and Excel as well. So a lot of value just in this report section, as well as what we touched on with the automations, the email, deliverability insights. But this is what you have at your fingertips as it relates to a firm using Aiwyn payments. And that is it. A couple of stats. I think I'm not done, James. I forgot about these. I think it's always helpful to kind of put context with the solution you may have in place today versus what's the value that a lot of firms find when they adopt the Aiwyn solution. And so a lot of the metrics that we have here are related to obviously payments, but one of the key metrics here that we like to track is the number of invoices paid within a specific subset of days. And so what you'll notice here is the majority of our firms, over 69% of their invoices that they send through Aiwyn are paid within 7 days of delivering. So a significant increase. Clients become familiar. They like the experience, and it's very easy to operate and check out. And so our firms are finding great value of just getting clients to pay within that initial delivery of that specific invoice. Across the entire user base, outside of that, 77% of the invoices are paid within 60 days. And then 42% of late invoices are just paid after one collection email is sent to your client. We have over 6,200 clients already enrolled across all our firms in AutoPay. I think this number might be a little bit old, but what you can see here is the adoption rate as far as getting clients to opt into AutoPay is going to help cash flow significantly. Anytime you're going to go ahead and have a client opt into that, cash flow is coming in. There is no DSO associated with AutoPay. So a really good value add that firms are finding a ton of value in. And then we've had 45,000 statement reminders sent via email electronically each month. And I'm sure that's continuing to scale. And then 55% completion rate from statement emails. So over half of these initial invoices that are not paid are paid on the back end with that collection statement reminder. And what a lot of times we hear is firms' collections process typically happens once a month where they're meeting with a subset of partners or specific partners that they are the billing manager for, and then eventually only getting one statement reminder out per month. Or there's even more firms that have a longer time horizon as far as when they're sending that statement to let a client know, hey, you still have not paid us. The last thing we'll see here, and this goes into email deliverability, is 80 to 100% of our statement emails that we send on your behalf are opened. And so high engagement always drives online adoption of payments. So a really good statistic to let you know that people are finding success as it relates to the automation that we have set up to help drive online adoption, especially if you're paying for a solution. You want to make sure you're getting the most value out of it. And then the last one we'll see here is 75% of our portal activity uh, comes from activated clients that log in once per month. So the more that we have, multi-entity or larger clients logging in, that just results in faster cash flow, and letting you know that they're actually logging in results in that as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Nick, for taking through that comprehensive overview. Just something to call out as well. Aiwyn launched the payments platform in 2020, while QuickFee, we didn't launch the PayNow Plus platform until about midway through 2023. So just giving Aiwyn roughly a 3-year head start. So it's not surprising to see the Aiwyn payments platform with more features and functionality, with a great modern user-friendly interface. So yeah, together with also when Nick ran through just the adoption rates and the working capital improvement that we see, I think it was 67% of invoices are paid within 7 days. That's something that would benefit our Pay Now customers that did not have the integrated solution. So in terms of the features, just some other call outs specific to the payment options at checkout. Aiwyn Payments offers a lot more capability than the PayNow or PayNow Plus platform. One of the cool features is the ability to link your bank account. So Aiwyn Payments is utilizing Stripe, one of the largest payment processors in the world. So it has the ability to connect your bank account and reduce ACH return rates. So that's something that is not available for you in the PayNow or PayNow Plus platform, as well as just additional methods, Apple Pay, Google Pay, Stripe Link, some of the more modern solutions. If we move it to the statements that drive action, so again, another difference between the PayNow Plus platform and Aiwyn Payments is that each of the statements contains all of the outstanding invoices. So you've got your client receiving one email notification. So they have one singular view of everything that's outstanding, including late fees. And that one-click payment experience that Nick demoed earlier, just allowing your client to seamlessly pay all outstanding invoices and drive that cash back into your business. Another cool feature that Aiwyn Payments has is the ability to bill by both client or billing contact. So Aiwyn Payments is driven by the billing contact's email. Therefore, any client entities that are tied to that email get pulled into one consolidated statement. And that's, again, something that wasn't available for our PayNow Plus customers. Cool. And then another item which Nick gave a demo that is unavailable in the PayNow or PayNow Plus platforms is just the ability to see what your client is experiencing. So if you have a customer who reaches out, they've got a question and they're trying to work through within their client portal, Uh, in the former QuickFee solutions, we did not have that capability for you to replicate the view that they had. So again, that I just wanted to call that out, the ability to log in and see exactly what your client is looking at, so that if you're on the phone with them, you can help solve an issue or explain open invoices, anything that's available within their view. You are able to do that, whereas you're sort of doing a bit of guesswork with the former QuickFee platforms. All right. The another thing with the syncing time, the way that the QuickFee platform was built for PayNow Plus, all of the all of the practice management systems we integrated with had a 4-hour syncing life cycle. So here you can see with Aiwyn Payments, Aiwyn built the integration on a much more frequent cadence, giving your customers much more up-to-date information. The only exception is CCH Access. We do rely on the 4-hour sync from CCH, but outside that, all of the other practice management system syncs are significantly faster, giving real-time data to your clients. Excuse me. Another item that has caused administrative burden for firms that are on our PayNow Plus or PayNow platform is the requirement for an annual PCI compliance process. It's an admin burden on firms. Adding to that, our card processing partner, Payrock, uses a third party to complete the PCI compliance process, which is often overlooked by firms and sometimes causes confusion. So the good news that the model that Aiwyn Payments has built with Stripe is fully PCI compliant and requires no annual administrative filling in either a form or the online checklist to go through. So again, just a simpler process for your firm. The passwordless client login that Nick ran through in the demo, again, the customization ability within the Aiwyn Payments platform is more significant than was available within the QuickFee solutions. So the ability to send a passwordless client login, your firm can choose to allow that or not allowed to do that. But again, the flexibility and functionality that exists within the platform, it gives you a lot of choice. The same thing with payment link. Nick touched on quick payment links. Quick payment links would give a very similar experience to the PayNow platform. So basically just a link that isn't integrated with an invoice that your client can go and submit a payment. So if you did need that functionality, Aiwyn Payments platform does have that capability as well. And we touched on earlier debit card blocking to save your firm fees. Debit cards can essentially redirect your client to pay via ACH and avoid your firm having to bear the cost of a debit card processing fee as we're unable to pass the surcharge on to debit cards. All right, in order to get set up in Aiwyn Payments, there's an implementation process to go through. For firms on PayNow Plus, it's a similar experience that you would have gone through when you first migrated to that platform. And for PayNow customers, you won't have been through this before. So with that, I'll hand over to my colleague, Krista Mason, who heads up our implementation team. And she'll just run through with you the experience to go through to complete the migration to Aiwyn Payments.
Thanks, James. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Krista Mason, Director of Implementation here at Aiwyn. And today we're just going to talk real quick about the implementation process and what all that entails. So before we get started with a kickoff call, once you sign on with Aiwyn, we provide you with a series of pre-kickoff tasks. This includes a series of IT tasks that can be completed. Specifically, we need you to create an SSO application inside of your SSO environment, such as Microsoft Azure. And so your IT professional, whether that's internal or a managed service provider external to you, they can usually complete these tasks very easily within an hour or so. We also provide you with access to our online learning platform where we have a series of self-paced training courses related to Aiwyn payments that you can take at your own pace throughout the entirety of implementation. Once we get some of those critical IT items completed, you're eligible to schedule your kickoff call with your implementation specialist. We ask that you, those who are participating in the implementation project management on your side, attend that kickoff meeting. This also could include your IT professional, as well as those, administrative professionals who are going to be using Aiwyn the most. After the kickoff call, we provide you with a couple of forms to fill out, a finance team form so that we can learn a little bit more about your firm and how you're using your practice management system. And we also provide you with access to connect your bank account to Stripe. And we also request from your marketing team a couple of logos and sample invoice so that way we can get that branding in place for you. The second week of implementation, we meet and have one meeting where we go through certain configurations and data mapping from within your practice management system and how that will look in Aiwyn, as well as how you will be reconciling your Aiwyn payments, whether that's through a write back or through a payment import. We also then request that all of your IT items be completed by the end of week 2. This is very specifically that database connection, making sure that we can get that information from your database into Aiwyn. And then we also, make sure for those on CCH Access that we have the DAU and we can understand your DAU refresh times. Week 3, no meetings this week, but this is the week that we use to deploy your system and do our internal checks against for your internal system, making sure we have that database connection in place and everything is working smoothly. Finance team, this is also your opportunity to complete any any training that you may have left over from your online training modules. Week 4, we conduct a very thorough data flow testing session where we go through all the steps of sending an invoice from your side and seeing it in that Aiwyn way, making a real payment, making sure that everything looks correctly. We validate data, whether it's AR, staff, clients, contacts, etc. And then once everything passes all of those checks, we then are ready for you to go live. And we provide you with a pre-launch readiness meeting, making sure that everybody is all on the same page and is ready to start going live with your firm, with your clients. We are on hand for the day that you do go live with your clients. So those first couple of invoices that you send or those first couple of payments that you receive, we're right there alongside with you, helping answer any questions that you might have or heading off any problems before they become a big problem. And then once you're ready, we'll transition you over to our customer success manager that's assigned to your account, as well as to our general support team where they provide amazing support and are always responsive to your needs. This entire timeline takes about 4 weeks. We can do it a little faster if we need to, and we can also go at your pace, but 4 weeks is our comfort level for us. If you have any questions about implementation, be sure to put them into the Q&A.
All right, thank you, Krista, for running through that. This brings us into the Q&A session. We have had a number of questions come through already. So a few of the questions have been related to the integration with practice management systems. So we've had questions around ProSystem FX, CCH Access, Practice ERP, and the answer is yes, we integrate with all 3 of those. All of the leading practice management systems used by CPA firms We integrate, I believe, with 18 practice management systems altogether. So if you have anything outside the main practice management systems, feel free to reach out to your account executive just to clarify. But the most common that we come across: CCH Access, CCH Pro System FX, Thomson Reuters, Practice CS, Practice ERP. So we do cover the majority in the market. We do also have a question in relation to a clarification. Melissa asked, can you clarify for me, can we, the firm, set up a recurring/auto payment for a client, or do they have to set things up themselves? So great question, Melissa. And the answer is either. So either your client can set that up through their client portal access, or your firm can set them up within the firm portal access. Just keeping in mind, though, your firm would need their payment information to do so. Okay, we've had a couple of other questions come through. With QuickFee, our reminders were totally fixed schedules. How flexible is Aiwyn with that? Has it actually helped firms collect faster? Sorry. I might hand that over to my colleague, Victoria.
Hello, everyone. All right. So with the reminders on a fixed schedule with Aiwyn payments, that's like now to infinity. You can schedule these reminder cadences. We have triggers, multiple triggers. I usually like to look at the oldest invoice and kind of use that to kind of gauge new firms as they get started, because the idea here is for us to help you to reduce that AR. So you'll be able to schedule those out with the throttle, which also keeps it to where any new invoices that are going out do not bombard the statements that are coming out. So like example with QuickFee, if you were on PayNow Plus, if your monthly statement was scheduled and a trigger was also scheduled on the same day, the client would get 2 emails that day. So that is no longer a problem with Aiwyn payments. So yep, definitely much better, faster. I think you're gonna love it.
All right, thank you, Victoria. Okay, we did have a question from Evan around, will we be sending out a link to the recording as one of the colleagues is out on vacation? So yes, we will be sending out a recording. What else have we got in here? So we have had a question around the usage of practice management for AR, but not for invoicing. So is there a way to customize within the system? So in an instance like that, again, so if you do have any non sort of standard usage of the practice management system, that's something that you can discuss your specific circumstances with your account executive as you discuss the transition to Aiwyn payments. What else have we got here? So, okay, we did get a question around the approximate lead time currently to get on the schedule for implementation. So we are filling up quickly, but if you're ready to go, we can get you started. So again, speaking to your account executive to find some availability. I believe we are coming out with like a calendar that you'll be able to look at and schedule where availability lives. So we'll keep you posted on that as well. We've got another question around how quickly do invoices get emailed out since there is a lag with the current QuickFee system? Krista, would you like to handle that question?
I'm sorry, that was looking at other questions. This is the lag time, James?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, so right now we can start taking firms as quickly as August. July has already filled up. But if you reach out to us and get through the sales process quickly, we can definitely get you on schedule on a date that works for you.
All right. Thank you, Krista.
Mhm.
And then just on that one as well, you have answered the question in the chat channel, but how quickly do invoices get emailed out?
2 to 3 minutes, except for CCH Access, which has an up to a 4-hour delay. So really, it's just as soon as we can recognize that that invoice has been posted and it's ready for payment. And once you send the invoice, it's available to the client on our side.
All right, cool. And just conscious of time, we've only got a few minutes left. I'll go through one more question. Do you have a time management module for employees to track time? So Kathy, yes, the answer is we have Aiwyn Practice. So today what we've run through is the Aiwyn Payments solution. But if your firm is interested in a practice solution, again, please speak to your account executive about that and other solutions that we offer as well. All right. Well, thank you everyone for your time today. Really appreciate you joining. Excuse me, and walking through the demo of the Aiwyn Payments platform. Again, next steps, we will send out some further communications to you guys to keep you in the loop, but I would encourage you to reach out to your account executive just to progress those conversations and start scheduling. We've given a nice long lead time, but those implementation slots will fill up fast. So if you would like to get something on the calendar, I would encourage you to do that sooner rather than later. But thank you again for your time. Thank you to all of the other presenters today, to Nick and Krista and the team for answering any of the questions during the session. And if you have any more questions, please reach out to your account executive as well. Thank you.